Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming related topics and offer both informed and uninformed opinions. I'm Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my the co hosts, the Nordic Cajun.
We will not go quietly into the night because Nord always goes loud.
We have Mr. Imy, the barcode.
Hello, I am on the internet. I am a barcode. I am in your phone.
Yep.
Do you
And
connect?
Crayon is
Do you
best.
connect to?
Crayon.
Do you connect to the Wi-Fi?
Yes, because you connect. I need to get out, and please stop looking up what crayon flavor is the best. We all know it's orange.
and from the Emerald Dream, Mrs. Imy, the barcode.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Hell
You
yeah.
just ruined my introduction. I was gonna say, if you were gonna introduce me as Crit Chick and be like, well, I am the Wi-Fi. I am Mrs. Barcode now.
Oh, that's right.
I would have loved that joke.
Drat,
Oh.
ruined it. Ruined it.
Well, we're back. We stopped shortly before Thanksgiving to spend time with our families, and now that our families are done and gone, and tolerance is now at an all-time low.
Yup.
Welcome back, and with that, welcome back. Let's let Imy say words.
Yes, 10% of all of our donations, subs, bits, and all that stuff go to the Trevor Project. Because the Trevor Project is amazing. And
The Trevor
Ping's got some more
Project
info
is a
on what that
leading
is.
organization working to end LGBTQ youth suicide in the US and beyond. The non-profit operates several programs to help prevent and respond to the public health crisis of LGBTQ youth suicide, including 24/7 free crisis services, research, advocacy, education, and peer support.
Thank you, Ping. And just as a reminder, this is an opinion show. We find articles, we read them, and we talk shit. That's what we do. It's all opinions.
Yeah, we do.
It does not represent any organization we are currently employed or part of, other than our own organization and ourselves. So, in other words, report, don't sue us, and I think this should do.
Yeah.
You know, I always have the stream muted on my end, so I never know if Ping is talking or not. I just pray.
Oh, it fires immediately whenever it hits chat. I should probably put in like a 5-second delay because I'm still talking whenever Ping's like, "Oh, the Trevor Project." Yeah, we'll talk about that now.
Well, I'm just so used to seeing his little head pop up right underneath on me, and I haven't seen him in so long. He's still sleeping.
Yeah, I have to
Yep.
get that reconfigured. There's a lot going on there, and I'm just like, you know what? Disembodied Ping voice, go.
And it works. I just bite my tongue like, don't talk yet, until somebody else breaks the silence. Don't talk.
Indeed. So we've got a few choices here, and I intentionally didn't force our hand or schedule anything. We got a few options ahead of us. We can start in what we've seen over the last few weeks, or we could talk about how we've been doing. Honestly, not sure what to do. We do know that Imy and Crit Chicken did go to Canada to get married, so there was lots of syrup-related
Yeah.
I
names.
also added to the Geneva checklist. I ruined a family's vacation. Yeah.
Imy's doing a
You
good
Well, I
job
mean,
there.
you assume, but I mean,
I mean, when you want someone to break the silence, you don't put me in a rest stop.
So,
yeah. Two people looked like their eyes were about to start bleeding when they
Oh.
emerged
wow.
while she was still in there.
Damn.
I felt bad because I texted him because I apologized for taking so long and stuff like that. And I was like, I feel so bad for the girls. I thought it was only two girls that walked in. No, it was a family of three, and they left as a family of two.
Yep.
Don't quite know what happened to the mom.
Wait, hold on.
Some say that she's-
We need some context. We need some context in the
I think
story.
I'm lost here. Did you blow up a bathroom and like remove somebody's family by gravitational lensing? I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, is that what happened?
She had a troubled stomach, we'll say.
Okay.
And yeah, there were no
She dropped a
survivors.
bomb. Got you.
Yep. There were no survivors.
I
Understood that.
lived up to the name of Crit Chicken.
Yeah.
Boom, chicken. All right.
Yeah, when two people come out and they look like they're about to throw up and they're in tears or almost in tears, you know something rough happened in the washroom. And then when
then-
you also realize that the mom and the two women, or like the two daughters, walked in, and only the two daughters came out. It's like, oh no, they are now motherless.
And I
Oh no.
exited before the mother too. I don't know if it was shame or just she just
Or she was
withered.
checking to make sure you're okay. I mean, that could be
No,
another.
nobody checked to see if I was okay.
Oh, really?
They
No,
just came in. No.
no. Yeah,
I thought
I'm pretty sure she didn't make it.
I thought we
There were
had
no survivors.
I thought I was a free range chicken. I thought we had that whole rest stop to ourselves. It was like middle of nowhere, kind of. I thought that we had it. So I free
Let her
ranged
rip.
myself.
Oh, absolutely, let it rip. And two children are now motherless,
Rest in
Supposedly,
peace.
as legends
Allegedly.
says.
as the legend goes.
Good.
Everybody will remember that rest stop. Okay,
Oh yeah,
But,
they will
but
not
yeah,
like it.
let's see here.
other
What's
than that,
all right?
nothing really. I mean, aside getting married,
Yeah.
Ye-
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
really to speak on.
I think
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop out some names and we can just go from there. We can talk about TikTok. We could talk about Nintendo. We can talk about app stores.
We can
We
talk
can.
about Crisis.
Well,
I
I
had.
mean, we only have a couple of more hours to talk about TikTok before they shut it down in the United States. But then again, it's open to everybody else, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like P Hub being closed off in Florida.
And
Yeah.
Texas.
Oof.
You can blame
Yeah.
Utah for that. You're like, oh well, obviously Utah can do it. There's also Elon Musk. We could talk about that.
Not the president.
There's also Genshin Impact and Honey. So we've got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot to
That's
unpack. Oh my
funny.
god.
Yeah, the honey thing is fun. Basically, if you don't know, all it was is the browser extension was injecting its own referral link right at the time of purchase. So normally, like when you've got a content creator who says, "Hey, click my link," they'll get a referral because there's a specialized URL tied to them, and then every time you buy a product, whatever they're shilling or selling, as the case may be, when the transaction is completed, a record of that referral code is used in terms of completing that transaction. And then the company that gave out the referral then knows exactly who to give money to, like the little bit of a kickback. And what Honey was doing was injecting their referral URL right at the very end of the transaction. So when you as a consumer hit, you know, complete like purchase or whatever, or continue, or whatever the final button is, it would substitute the content creator's URL or the referral code for their own. So the best part was is Honey was bought by PayPal for about $2 billion, I want to say, or $3 billion. And this scam has been running on since well before PayPal bought it. So now there is a lawsuit that's been filed by Legal Eagle against PayPal/Honey for basically ripping off everybody. And it got worse. So if you click on an ad on a YouTuber's video, there's a referral code in there. But sometimes they might have like, hey, use my discount code of say fart. And then, it would kick back to the appropriate content creator. With what Honey was doing, it would search, quote unquote, search for a cheaper price, wouldn't find anything, but still substitute that YouTuber or whoever's discount code for their own.
Oh,
Damn.
same
It
thing
was
was
ripping
going on
everybody
with
off.
same thing was going on with Capital One extensions. Same thing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love
Capital
talking about
One was,
Capital One here. We love
Well,
talking about Capital One.
it's because
yeah.
it's free money at that particular point. Honey's gotten away with it, and everybody else is like, oh, I see what you're doing. I know an extension that can compete with this.
Well, and
Hold my beer.
the worst part is there is no telling how much was actually stolen from creators doing this. And that's why the estimate so far is in the billions, because it didn't matter if it was on a YouTube ad, didn't matter if it was on anywhere. Like if it was an ad, there was always Honey injecting its referral code into any click that you did for any purchase. So, like, if you had an Amazon referral code, well, that's gone. It's now Honey's referral code. Like everything. So there is a lot at stake here in terms of, you know, who's going to be in how much trouble. And I don't think it's going to be that good at the end of the day. I think it's going to get pretty shitty.
Yeah, well, it was already shitty
Honestly,
considering whenever you would, whether it found a code or not, it would just replace the referral link because it was the last thing that did any work. And
Yep.
that's what everybody's pissed about, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be pissed about like the stealing of like actual buying stuff, but coming back with nothing and doing no work and just stealing
The
the
referral.
referral
Yeah.
from creators, and then because they're sponsored by Honey's like, here's some dollars, you can have this.
Yeah. So people like Markiplier, people like the annoying guy, I think his name is Mr. Beast. Fuck. So actually, funny story, when Honey started first promoting themselves and Mr. Beast was like screaming at your face to install it, I didn't know who he was. And my first thought was, who the fuck is this super annoying dude screaming in my face? Remind me never to watch his content. I have kept my word.
Well, his
oh,
content
but
wasn't really all that great anyway. Go ahead, Crit. Sorry.
at least with the Capital One stuff, there's karma involved with that. I'm not talking about credit karma. I'm talking about karma, because they're doing something similar to Honey, but now they got caught with their pants down because they weren't showing out or giving people the right API stuff. So they were in a lawsuit for stealing about $2 billion among the customers of Capital One. And then right after that lawsuit hit, uh, there something happened with their third party that caused everybody's bank account deposits not to hit their banks for like 3 or so days or 4 days even. And they're in a whole lot of trouble because people are starting to leave the bank
Yeah.
after the
They
lawsuit.
they weren't giving out proper interest. Like their annual percentage rate was not being respected. So if you were supposed to get like a 2% return on a savings account, you were getting like 0.1% as an example. So that's a lot of money they saved by not paying it out to people, which is kind of illegal. And then,
You would
yeah, their
think.
third party provider apparently had. So, my favorite part about that is the third party provider. I can't remember the company name. They basically do a lot of financial transaction, basically man in the middle type thing. So, normally what happens when you buy something from an online shop, you want to pay with like your credit card or your debit card, whatever. There's a company that will take the transaction information and the dollar amount, and they will then alert the bank that, hey, you need to give me your money, and then I'll forward on the amount over to the selling company. They're all they do is just middleman the transactions, but they suffered what apparently was a power outage, which fucked up their data centers. And my favorite part is I've worked in data centers and I know how finicky they can be when you bring stuff back up to life after it's been shut off. And people are losing their minds and saying, "Oh, if I didn't have it," like especially coders. My favorite are coders because coders don't know what they're talking about for the most part. And yeah, that's gonna piss people off. Uh, as a coder, you just make stuff. You don't support the hardware that thing runs on. I support the hardware that shit runs on, and hardware is finicky. Plus, restoring from a backup, especially if it's a tape library, takes forever. And we're talking days worth of recovery for this stuff. And people are just armchair teching everything and saying how much they would be fired if they were doing that, or they're just claiming they could get it done so much faster. And it's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Why don't you go sit in the corner with the stupid hat?
Yeah, pretty much. Because replacing code's one thing that takes hours, but working with hardware, no, you have no idea what the hell's going to go on. Especially if you've had a power outage of some sort, you don't know what's blown. You don't know what needs to be replaced. That's insanity. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and the worst part is when you are bringing stuff back up that's been down, sometimes hardware doesn't want to work anymore. And that causes a problem because now you need to replace hardware. And some people might be like, well, why would hardware fail? Because these hard drives that these data centers are built on probably have an average about 30 to 50,000 hours per drive. Some of them will even top 6 digits in terms of uptime, in which case, the longer it's been up, the more likely it is to fail. So now you have to worry about, as these systems come online, how much is failing in terms of just hardware burning out. And that's not something people understand for the most part. And it's something that we deal with a lot in the support side of the house. And it's astounding how much people don't know and then just assume everything. And it's like, no, please stop. Please stop
Yeah.
talking.
So I've been using cloud services. I don't have to worry about that too much. If it does go down, there's always backup services that brings it back up.
Yeah, cloud services are good, but then at the same time, there are disadvantages to them depending on what you're trying to do. I'm not a huge, like, for me, I'm kind of a fan, but also not, because I like control over my stuff. I like to know who's touching my hardware, and you can't do that with cloud, unfortunately.
Don't touch my things.
Yeah, it's like you guys in your boats. It's like me with my servers. Don't touch my servers.
Boats? Just because I'm from South Louisiana, sir, does not mean I own a boat.
You're from the U.S. and the
I'm
U.S. doesn't
speaking
like it when you
strictly
touch. No.
from.
I'm meaning you guys, as in Americans, as in the country, because when someone touches your boats, you tend to have overwhelmingly off-sided responses. Like you introduced Japan to the sun twice. And that's what the kind of reaction that you have when someone touches your boats.
I guess I just don't see that. I guess I'm a weird dude. I've never heard of the whole boat thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just
Oh
me.
yeah, I did a quick look up on American wars that they've been involved in, and the U.S. As a little bit of history. Almost every war the U.S. has been in, save for like 2, I think it is, has involved someone touching your boats. And like the Spanish American Civil War was because one of your
Oh.
boats mysteriously blew up in port in Spain, and you guys were like, "Well, gloves are off," and you fought an entire war over someone touching your boat.
Now I'm putting 2 and 2 together. I get you now. I'm smelling
Yeah.
what you're stepping in.
Yeah, no, I'm redneck adjacent, just like how Cajun is, because we live in the South U.S. So we're sitting there thinking, no, normally it's our truck. You touch our truck, you're screwed. But I guess that's a road boat, so I mean, why not?
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's just really funny that you guys just go nuts when someone touches your boat. But it's the same with my hardware. Like, don't touch it. That's kind of why I don't like cloud services to an extent.
Mhm.
But also, it's someone else managing the footprint, the physical infrastructure, the power, the leasing, and all that shit. So
Well,
it
some
does
people,
have a place, right?
It's like me when barcode. It's like, are you literally trying to talk to my barcode? Are you? Oh, I've had that
No
happen
touchy.
before, and we saw what happened with that, didn't we?
yeah.
It does not
Well,
share.
Funny.
Well, just
No.
so you know, our news bot actually runs on web services. So I've got it loaded into a Docker container, which is just loaded up, and it serves both the website and our news needs. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to deal with. I initially, when I planned on doing that, I was just going to load it up onto like a Raspberry Pi in my house.
Hey.
But then I was just like, well, or I could do this, and I did, and I'm not looking back because all I have to do is make changes to my Docker container, and it updates automatically. It is ridiculously efficient. I guess it comes down to that coder mentality you were talking about. So, but that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like when you don't know how to support this stuff, or you don't know the requirements of supporting stuff, everything seems easy. Of
Mhm.
course, like I can say, well, something's an easy fix in a program, and you're like, no, dude, I have to rewrite, 62 bajillion lines of code. But from an armchair perspective, it's always going to come across as easy. So these people ripping into it, taking forever is just funny.
Yeah. No. Well, that's all right. Americans do that, and they're also doing other weird stuff like banning TikTok and declaring it a Chinese military company.
Oh my God. For me, the best part of the entire situation with this thing going down was the malicious compliance for me.
Yeah.
That part that got my jimmies rustled and off. I was so excited about it. For those of y'all not aware of the entire situation because you have not looked at any screen for the past 4 months, TikTok has been deemed the most evil thing on the planet in terms of your data because there's a evil company in China that owns it, and every time you open the thing, they're using their propaganda to turn you against your politicians, despite the fact that politicians do a really good job of it by themselves, but I digress. And they decided to do what politicians do here. They put a small little clause inside of a giant bill, and the bill's labeled something else completely, and get it pushed through without ever being able to actually vote on it or have it be put in front of a court where they can fight for it. It just is. And that's what's been going on with the TikTok ban. It was a little piece of legislature that says if ByteDance does not diverse and sell their stuff to a U.S. owner, then TikTok will be banned on, well, what are we at? An hour from now in terms, it's midnight for us on the West Coast, something like that. And we all know good and well it has nothing to do with security of our data. The only reason why this is even an issue is because Zuckerberg couldn't sell the data to the Chinese himself. That's why this is going down the way it is.
Lol.
Also, it's not like they didn't have other apps like RedNote available. Of course not. It's not
That's
like other apps couldn't be created similar to TikTok with a different name, and also attributing to Duolingo's coursework being increased by or grown to 116% as people are starting to learn Mandarin. Of course not.
Well,
well. The best part of
there were people sitting there talking about, it's like, well, you talking about protecting our data. No, well, I tell you what, we're just going to go directly to the source so that we can get our data directly. Heck, we'll like print out our web search history and go deliver it to the Chinese consulate, wherever it may
precisely that was the whole malicious compliance that I had started the conversation about. Like there is an app on, I think Creed already mentioned, Redbox. I can't say the actual name yet because I haven't learned it properly and I'm not going to butcher it. But Redbox is essentially their TikTok in China. And
be. Before we go any further, Red Note, not Redbox, not the DVD rental service.
RedNote.
did I say Redbox? I meant Rednote. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Just make sure we're there.
Thank you.
RedNote.
Appreciate the disclaimer. So the biggest fear that these politicians have been garnering is that TikTok steals our data, gives it to the Chinese, get to do whatever they want with it and give propaganda, yada yada. So since they're not listening to the people they're supposed to represent, pause for effect, we the people decided, you know what, if you're gonna say this is a threat to our data, fuck you, we'll go give them our data ourselves. And that's what millions, I think, at this point have done. They have haven't left. They're holding on to dear life for TikTok, but they went over to RedNote. Make sure I say it right this time. And
It's more, if it's easier for you, you could also say Xiao Hongzhu or Shu, I think. Xiao Hongzhu.
I can't. I will butcher it, and I don't want to be respectful because the people there have been very kind to most of the Americans. They're actually teaching a lot of Americans actually how to speak Mandarin so they can enjoy the app more. And the scariest thing is both cultures have been able to talk freely together for the first time in decades. And I think how did it go? One often faces their destiny on the road they take to avoid it. I believe that was the phrase that Master Oogway said in Kung Fu Panda. That's exactly what the U.S. government is going through right now. They are currently in the find out phase. The thing that they were trying to fearmonger and say is what TikTok was doing is what the American people are now actually doing. And they don't know. I mean, right now, nothing's going down. As far as we're concerned, TikTok is going to be dead tonight unless the Cheeto in Chief save it on Monday.
See, I'm having a hard time with this. I really am. Because Trump was all like, yeah, I'll go and I'll save TikTok myself. And now there's this. So we have all of the tech companies going through, all of a sudden going from like left leaning to stupid right, right? Buttering
Bean
up.
with it, rock with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Buttering up like whoever's going to be in charge. So what are we doing? Okay,
Circle
so.
jerking.
We're going back and watching stuff from Nickelodeon called Ni Hao Kailan.
Mm,
Translation.
Ni hao means
Hello,
hello.
Kailan. It's literally a children's show called Ni Hao Kylon that Nickelodeon had that teaches. It's kind of like Dora the Explorer, but
Oh,
for
okay. I got you. I got you. I got you.
yeah,
I'm
I
down.
used to watch that. I used to watch that.
But
But go ahead, Lemmy.
we have these billionaires like going after our government to kind of get in bed. It's like, you should totally force them to sell. Right. Well, Tencent is what they're after, and Tencent has
Oh, yeah.
vested interest in all kinds of stuff. And I'm wondering because they're probably going after stuff that Tencent has like ownership shares of. Because I mean, if you think about it, like there's a lot of stuff that has Tencent investment, but Tencent doesn't have controlling shares. Like Epic, for example, I believe they don't have controlling shares, or
Uh,
Riot.
no, I think they have 80% in Epic.
Oh, they do have 80% Epic, so like every Epic store is probably going to be boned.
And they
Yeah.
own League and everything with Riot,
Right.
basically. So if like Lumi's trail of thought is going, if all of a sudden they've labeled this thing a weapons guru company funder son of a bitch, if they just say, okay, Tencent is the next one to go, you are going to see Fortnite, you're going to see League and all of its stuff, and a ton of other games vanish overnight.
It's going to
You're
be
going to
tough.
take I think the best thing I heard about it, and maybe I mean you know how to phrase this better because I have a feeling you know the similar phrase or the phrase itself. It went down during the Roman period or something like that. It's like when the last piece of bread in the last circus closes down, that's when the people turn against their government or something around
I
that.
have no idea what you're referring
Well,
to.
I don't know. So if this event, if it does take out like these huge gaming mechas, right? I think sitting here, remember what was it a few years ago where a bunch of conservative freaks like stormed the White House, like they even had like some dude dressed up in like buffalo shaman gear and everything else, just trouncing all over the White House. You remember that? You remember that event?
Yeah, something,
Yeah.
insurrection, something.
Yeah, something like that. That never happened, of course. But I don't know if this spawns like gamers to get out of their chairs and into the outside with a bright circle of fire, and like just this. I can see an ocean of neckbeards and stinky people storming the White House on their own and just sitting there. That's all they have to do. They don't have to do anything else. Just
Well, here's the thing. That would also be the scariest thing on the planet because the majority of exist without telling each other. They would have two people on one side of the building, two other people on the other side, and then one person running around getting blamed for everything else as the jungler. So they would be perfectly fine to take care of the White House on their own with League of Legends tactics. So that's how I see that. Now, I found what I was talking about, the bread and game situation. The bread and circuses things is the minor appeasement that the ones in power give to the layman to distract them from their troubles. And once the last piece of bread and the last circus closes down, they're no longer distracted. They've only got one place to turn, and that's to the people who are in power and bring all of their strife into their life. So there's a reason why Zuckerberg and their boys are no longer going to be outside at the inauguration, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I can see that. I mean,
Luigi's game is about to become multiplayer if they're not too careful.
Oh, damn.
that was
Jesus.
brilliant.
I said it, I'm not taking it back. Moving on.
Wow. Okay.
So that happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Eat the
Yep.
rich, bitches.
Speaking of the rich, Elon's got some awesome stuff going on this week. I think Amy did a little bit of investigation into that. I did some investigation into it, and it's probably going to be the single biggest reason why I will never return to Twitter, ever.
Which part are you talking about? The part where he got into a nerd slap fest with Asmongold?
Oh, it's all this train of thought stuff. So yeah, it has to deal with the Asmongold thing, right? Because apparently he brought out his hardcore Path of Exile or Path of Exile 2 character, which was like level 90.
Oh, that. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
He
Yeah.
had no idea what he was doing, and he was ignoring loot. That, like, for fuck's sakes. Jesus Christ. So with, what is it, Diablo, doesn't matter about your armor class or like your armor score or any other item score. It's your weapon score. The higher the weapon score, the more damage you'll do, the more survivability you'll have, yada, yada, yada. Path of Exile doesn't work that way. You can have, like, as an example, a level, it's a shitty example, like a level 20 weapon, but with the right modifiers to it, the right add-ons to it, it can do huge DPS compared to, like, let's say, a level 60 weapon. Um, he was complaining that his weapon wasn't high enough level, and then he was ignoring things that he would have needed to get into the dungeon in the first place. So people are basically saying that, he likely paid someone to set it up for him.
Well,
Which would
also Grimes, his ex-wife, posted on Twitter about, well, let me just say it out loud. She posted, just for my personal pride, I would like to state that the father of my children was the first American druid in Diablo to clear Abattoir of Zir, I guess, I don't know, and ended that season as best in the USA. He was also ranking it in Polytopia and beat Felix himself in the game. I did observe that. Someone mentioned that the Avatar of Zir came out 2 years after they broke up, so they're wondering how she was able to observe he cleared it.
Like
mm.
going
Lol.
over to your ex's house to show how much her Pog collection has grown. I don't.
Let me say their video games. Like everybody's wondering how much. Sorry, the dogs. They're wondering how much they, freaking Elon paid her, or if it's because of visitation rights.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Mm.
something's fishy.
Yup. It is very
And
fishy.
Asmongold called it out, and then Elon. Elon is a petulant man-child. We already know this. But to make things worse, he tried having a gotcha moment where he leaked some DMs between him and Asmongold, where Asmongold basically said that he's got a couple editors that run the channel for him. He makes the content; they're the ones that'll, edit the videos, put them up onto the channel for him, and they get a cut of the ad revenue. And he posted that as like some gotcha of like, haha, you're not doing everything yourself. When you get that large, you tend to have an editor or two. Like once you start hitting around the 500,000 or even 300,000 subscribers, chances are you start looking at hiring an editor. And then, especially when you get 1 or 2 million subscribers, you're absolutely going to have editors, and usually more than one, because the amount of content you have to make versus how much time and those people have to edit a video is not really a workload that one person can handle. So you typically do multiple editors, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he was like, it's like, I'm posting these and he has editors. Yeah, a lot of people
Good.
do.
Yeah.
What's your point?
Yeah. And heck,
Like,
right now I'm looking to find people who can make thumbnails for all the stuff that I'm doing outside of the podcast. So yeah, I totally
yeah,
get that.
like he's a complete moron when it comes to this. And it's just embarrassing, really. Like, he just doesn't understand what he is saying or doing. And
You
I could
mispronounced
speculate.
anything.
What's that?
You mispronounced anything. He
I,
doesn't
I,
understand anything.
oh yeah, no, he doesn't. Like, he's just. I think I could speculate, which it's an opinion show, so I have an opinion. My
Yo.
opinion is that probably lay off the ketamine.
Yeah, I hear
Might work out for you.
he's a ketamine fiend, that's for sure. And and this incident right here is the reason why I will probably never interact on X again, because if I piss off the owner, he's gonna pull up my. I don't have anything in my DMs. I don't care, but he's gonna pull up my DMs, like and leak stupid stuff. Like I don't want to get into a fight with somebody who owns a social platform. It's like Mark Zuckerberg going in and finding the conversation with my wife and going, "Aha! You said that you would take her out for donuts," or whatever the fuck he may. But it's dumb. I don't like the idea that if we're going to be in a social place, the owner of the company can just go and pull it just because
Yeah,
and try to
that's
use it. Yeah,
stupid.
so I'm done with that. So Blue Sky is just going to be where I'm going to be. Like I
Yep.
will watch Twitter die, like from a distance.
Wait, so he went into Asmund's
Well, no,
private.
he looked at his own, because they had been DMing each other,
Oh,
and Asmongold had said to Elon that he's got editors, and Elon screen capped the DM and posted it as some like giant, haha, gotcha, you're using editors. It's like, okay, what's your point?
yeah.
Like, it made no sense to try and make it something that it wasn't. But petulant man-child's gonna petulant man-child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
All
this
day, every day.
man-child's going to be running the country, so
Right.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
he did get elected president. Well, he also wanted some bill stopped, and Vice President Trump went along with it. So that was interesting to see.
Yep.
I
Pretty
love
much.
just for the record, I don't think Adam Kinzinger will ever see this show, but if he ever does, that was epic trolling, sir.
Love
Did that
it.
on CNN.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
And all the panelists and the host, they were all trying to not laugh at his comment, and it was great.
you're right. This is a screenshot between him and Asmund. Well, even still,
Yeah, it's
that
like
could
who
happen to
cares?
anyone, but even still, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's not a
fan.
gotcha. It's okay. He has editors. Okay.
Mhm.
Which point? Like, tell me something I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's see.
he hires people to actually make his platform better. You might want to try it there.
He
Oh.
also hires people to make his hardcore characters before he destroys them. Apparently, that
Yeah.
Percy
it's kind of wish
Verance
you would hire
died
someone
earlier
to
this
clean
week.
his house.
So
Sorry, what was that?
his
I
character
wish he
died
would
earlier.
hire someone to clean his house.
Damn.
Look,
Well,
I'm not going to have
she's-
any
she-
bias towards either
she-
of them, okay?
No, not even a little
she's
bit.
back at full force.
We love it. We'd love to see it. We love a full powered crit.
I have some respect for Asmund. Sometimes he says the little things, goes a little bit too far with what he says, but if I have to choose between Elon and Asmund, I'd side with Asmund. But I still will make fun of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. What else is on our dockets here? Because we could probably talk about how dumb Elon is.
All day, every day.
All day, every day, and we probably do. I know I do. I'd just like
Mhm.
let's see here. Nintendo patent attorney clarifies company's zero tolerance position on emulation. I think I tagged you in this one, Cajun.
Yeah, well, it had a little asterisk unless it's on our own system.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am full of vinegar and spite at the beginning of this year with these people, so don't at me about it.
Let's see here. What did it say? As reported by Den Famicom Gamer via automation, Ashura acknowledged that while simulation software alone is not inherently illegal, an emulator could become illegal depending on how it's used. For instance, if an emulator copied a title or linked to sites where players could download pirated games. And I'm fairly certain that there's probably a bit more robust list on what makes an emulator illegal, but
And it probably grows daily, to be honest.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I could see that. Like, you have to separate the legality from the illegality. They're already with emulators copying like proprietary Nintendo stuff baked onto chips and turning it into a virtual machine. So it's just like, well, what do you do? Let's see here. What does it say? Could download pirated games that would constitute copyright infringement, or if an emulator disabled its game encryption or technical protection measures, that would violate Japan's Unfair Competition Prevention Act. So that's what they're going for. And judging by the history,
Unfair. Hold
So
up.
what I'm hearing is just ban the sale of your product or download of your product if it's free from Japan. Just geolock it against Japan.
yeah, the thing they totally can do.
I mean, to me, that would just be the simplest thing. Just make it not available in Japan.
Mhm.
Then
Yep.
you aren't breaking Japanese copyright law.
Well,
Doesn't quite work that way, but still.
Well, it mentions Yuzu, and I don't think so. I don't spend enough time on emulation sites to really give a shit. But I'm still wondering, like, it talks about if it disables protections on games, or if it links to places to get games that you can pirate, or if it has games copied already into the emulator that you can just play that are made by reputable companies. I think, and that's a lot. I don't think Yuzu or with the Game Boy emulator that we had, Cajun. I forgot the name of that one.
I still have it. It's called
Like Citrion or something like that. Citrus.
Citra.
Yeah, like even then, like they didn't have anything there. It was like, hey, you can go download Pokemon Red and Black and Green and Blue and Purple and Chartreuse and Plaid over here at these sites. They don't have anything.
Sir, a gentleman like myself rips it from the DS the good way. We don't go download our ROMs. We take it from our own games.
Yes, that's right. We pirate like a sir. That's how we do it.
The monocle adjusted.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't understand why they're doing this, because I don't think anything they've currently taken down has any of that, and it just doesn't make sense. And then again, if you're downloading it from like their Discords and whatnot, if their Discords have lists of places to get stuff, I can see how that type of ownership would cause Nintendo to lose their shit.
Well,
But
9 times out of 10, a lot of these people who do these emulations or ROM hacks or adjustments, they'll tell you, hey, if you discuss any way, shape, or form of how to get an actual copy of the 1.0 version of Diamond, I'm talking about a specific situation here, you will be banned from the Discord. We do not condone this. If you're going to do it, you're going to have to get it from your own Switch, which was kind of what I was leaning towards with my little monocle joke earlier. A lot of these people rip it from a jailbroken Switch, DS, anything they can at this point break into. And there's one person out there, 2 people out there actually. One, I forgot the name of the person, but they're doing a brilliant diamond hack where you can literally catch all 1,000 plus Pokemon within the game with all megas, with all transformation types. They're making an all-in-one gaming experience with the ROM hack, but they have to do it on the base game Brilliant Diamond in order for it to work. And in order for you to play it, you have to have either a jailbroken Switch that can handle it, or 2, the emulator that can do it on your computer. So in that area, I see it as, if it's more of a modern technology, they're more strict, honestly, because there's so many people, and I mean so many people, who are playing ROMs and hacks. And there's one girl, she's literally playing 16 copies of the same 16 DSs, but all of them, because she literally hacked in different Pokemon that can spawn in hordes in X and Y and Ruby and Sapphire. Like, she made the hack herself, and it's all legal. They're all coded within the game. She just changed a small part of the code that allowed more Pokemon to show up that existed. So at that point, would Nintendo go after her for playing a game that they no longer support, or would they go after the people who are Twitch and are keeping it very private and not actually promoting anywhere other than on just things that they're doing and working on? It's a gray area. It really is, because they're not making any money, one. Well, maybe on Twitch if you're doing the streaming thing, but I'm talking about the hacks themselves. Nobody's selling the hacks. You can't sell the hacks. You can't sell the ROMs. That is immediately, you not pass go. You do that, like $200, you go straight to jail. We get that part. But Nintendo, I think Nintendo and Disney are just at the point where they're just doing a measuring contest to see who can be the biggest dick when it comes to their content, and that's just how it is. So that's my 2 cents on that.
yeah, no, that's a jet. So yeah,
I've talked a lot tonight.
Yeah, you did. I mean,
I came back full power.
Nintendo will be Nintendo, and there's not much we can do about that. But what's interesting right now is the creators of Poppy Playtime going after the Google Play Store.
Ooh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because of all the scam games that are out there. There's a whole reason why I don't even bother with anything on like any of the app stores, because it's like this mountain of shit. And in order to find anything worthy in there, you either have to go in there like, I need my bank app, so you have that exact name to go grab it. But what they're concerned about is the bait and switch between grabbing a Poppy Playtime game, because they only have like, Chapter 1 and 2, but there is one developer out there that is throwing out shovelware for Chapters 3 and 4, sporting images from Chapter 2 that the game creator has made. And then when people download this game, it is a DLC unlock of like $65 to $95 to even play the game that runs like crap, and not even representative of what Poppy Playtime is, which is interesting. And he's done this with other IPs as well, but that's what they're going after. And honestly, I think it's about time that the app stores start vetting their own products, to be quite honest, making sure that what you're getting is what you're supposed to get. Because it's a lot of Russian roulette whether you're going to give all your data to insert random entity here, not necessarily China, or
No, that's okay. Zuck will sell it to him for you.
I mean, heck, I
Yep.
think that there's even apps out there that'll mine Bitcoin for the developer, which is
Oh
that's
God.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, a lot of
wow.
them do that. It was a huge problem on cell phones for a while because people were downloading games or whatever, and then in the background there was a Bitcoin miner that was then just chewing their battery up. I remember reading a few articles about that a number of years ago.
Yeah, no, I
Yay,
mean
scam stuff.
it is, and it's all over the place. It's also the part of the reason why I don't go to places like Roblox or anything else like that because there's so much shovelware that
Yeah.
to get anything good, you have to do a lot of shoveling, and I don't have that kind of time, so I'm stuck dealing with indie and AAA game developers on PC and Xbox, thankfully. So it is what it is. So yeah, I hope that actually goes through and it forces like the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store to kind of clean everything up. So that way I'm not afraid to go and grab maybe a fun looking game based on screenshots and not having to worry about, oh, well, no, I'm going to have to pay more money for this? Why is my phone running slow? So, yeah.
Dang you, China, taking my data.
Well, and you can tell the difference too. Like even with my kids, I've got 3 kids, and each one of them has a phone. And they're like, "Oh, our battery life is garbage," and they're all 3 modern phones. And I'm like, "Oh, it's probably because you have all this garbage installed." And I'll look at their phone, and like their alert section is nothing but game alerts.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to collect your daily bonus.
Yup.
Your
Now-
cats have run out of food. Come back and feed them, whatever it may be. But yeah, no, like that's a thing.
Cats don't need to be fed. No, wait,
No.
they do. They don't run on batteries.
Oh, well, Ping does.
Well, yes. Ping you can just stick on a charger, but a regular cat kind of needs food, or else they get really annoying.
Yeah, original thought design, the tail was going to have a USB-C connection at the end, but we never.
That'd be cool.
So, but other than that, I don't have anything else to talk about because I think we talked about all the Elon Musk, all the crap with TikTok, Honey. Genshin Impact has some stuff going on where their loot boxes are being targeted because they're advertising to minors, and they're
Yep.
forcing them to do interesting things with that. What was it? It was filed by the Department of Justice, also accused Genshin Impact developer of marketing to kids using approaches like posts on social media channels and in-game banners. The company then allegedly collects their personal information in violation of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule. Once the settlement is approved, the company is required to delete any data for children under 13 whose parents haven't consented to their data being collected. And I don't know if you remember being a kid or not, but if you couldn't get to anything that was age-gated, what are you going to do?
You lie about your age.
That's right. So
I
they're not gonna,
mean, yeah, everyone is 18 on the internet.
yeah.
Everybody's an adult.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know exactly what they're protecting from, but then again, the whole loot box thing is crazy. They were talking about, let's see here, other requirements of the settlement include Cognisphere must offer an option to buy loot boxes directly and not just through virtual money, which I think is a weird thing to do, because if you're allowed to buy them directly, that also constitutes gambling, and that also makes it illegal in different places. And then how much of
But-
that is going to bleed over elsewhere?
The reason you might do that, I don't know if the article actually said why, but sometimes games that have loot boxes will be like, you need our premium currency to open this box.
Right.
And you need, for example, like a key, and that key will say is 600 in-game coins or whatever. But you sell the premium currency in groups of, say, 150 or like 173. So then you have to buy so much extra just to unlock the thing you were wanting.
Mhm.
And you're basically making extra money off of every loot box when you do it that way.
Well, what they were doing, at least as far as China's concerned, because they have a strict no loot box type law or regulation or something like that, is instead of buying the loot box directly, it's actually bundled into buying the virtual currency. So while you can go out and buy stuff, you can get the loot boxes just by buying the virtual currency. So it's a bundle, so you're not buying it directly; it's added as a value add. It's
Gotcha.
very specific. So, but yeah, also forbidden from misrepresenting prices, features, and winning odds for loot boxes. And it must disclose exchange rates for multi-tiered virtual currency. Multi-tiered virtual currency. If I remember
Yeah, you
correctly,
might have like a regular in-game currency, and then have like a turbo or like a premium currency, and then like a mega turbo currency that you can buy and stuff like that. That's what that means.
yeah, I remember Neverwinter Nights and them introducing their currency system. And I say that lightly because they had like 18 different currencies for the different activities you can do in the game. Like they had literally mastered the time sync with this kind of thing. You've got God tokens and Lotus tokens, and you've got all kinds of stuff. So yeah, loot boxes have always been terrible. I'd rather see loot boxes as like an achievement award as opposed to anything else. But if we can't all have our cookies. Speaking of cookies, we're approaching the end of this. What do you say we just move on to our round table? Because I was going to stop, and I realized we didn't talk about Genshin Impact. I was like, well, let's talk about that. So, let's start with Cajun. How was your holidays? Let's go.
Oh, 'twas fun. We got to go on a little trip. Me, my brother, my mom, and little man. We got on a boat and vanished for a week. It was fun. That was our Christmas. We didn't do any gifts or anything. We just put all our money into some tickets and we went on a boat. It was great. Um, he still hates school, which is standard. He didn't want to go back. He's excited this week because he has 5 days off because of our little winter storm down here in Louisiana. That's gonna be fun. I had a story I wanted to share about him. Do you remember what I said? I really cannot remember the cute story that we did. It's aggravated me. I cannot remember the story I had for me and him. Oh, it was shiny hunting. That's what it was. Um, he's he's been weaning a little bit off of Roblox and has been playing a lot more Pokemon recently. I honestly, it was not me. I wish I could take credit for it, but he just got hooked on Pokemon Violet over the holidays, and it has been his glorious obsession. Which, as a Pokemon Papa, I'm not going to complain. I'm like, do you, boo boo? I'm here for you if you need help. And he finally got to the end game where he could actually start shiny hunting, and we made a decision to do our first shiny hunt the other night, and he's already asking if he could like guest star on the stream one night and us do a shiny hunting as father and son on Twitch. I'm like, I don't see why not. I just got to change it from adults only to, I mean, mature to normal. But other than that, we got it. We went to hunt this little dragon Pokemon, Dreepy. Wasn't happening. Uh-oh. Am I still good? Hello?
Yeah, you're still here.
My entire like internet just blurred. I didn't know if I died or not.
Oh yeah, we heard it. We were just like major part of the story.
And then blip.
Yep.
We went to go down there to go get ready for the hunt, and as per Violet and Scarlet's just lovely mechanics, the moment we touched ground in the area where the dragon spawned, a shiny Bisharp showed up right in front of us. So he was able to catch his first shiny with me right there before we even started the shiny hunt. It almost struck the same chord with me as me catching that Spinda all those years ago, named it Harrison. I got to catch it and name it after my boy, and I got to watch my boy catch his first legitimate shiny in Violet, and it felt strangely too proud for the nerddom that I like to rock in the house. Didn't catch another shiny the rest of the night, but that shiny alone was it was special to me, and it's special to him.
Well,
And now I sent a picture in the Discord earlier. He is getting to relive my childhood through himself because he's playing Super Mario World RPG's remake. And watching him play the game, me watching the story and having nostalgia hit me as he's experiencing it for the first time, it's bonding like I just could never imagine growing up. And I love it.
I'm sure hearing the soundtrack to that game for its overworld has been pretty nostalgic as well.
My boy, I'm in the while he's playing, I'm vibing. I'm just vibing to the music. I cannot wait for him to get to the Force with Gino. I'm gonna be sitting there and I'm gonna be rocking, and he's not gonna understand why, but it's gonna be amazing. And I'm gonna actually start my own run in that game on stream tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. But I just can't wait to see him get to the parts of the game where I got most frustrated with and see how he acts. So far he's been kicking the game's ass. Like I'm impressed that he's never played an RPG before like this outside of like Pokemon. So it's fun to see him see like how do I do more damage? Oh, if I push the button at just the right point, I can do double damage. I like seeing his brain wrap around it so quickly. He might be able to take on that the hidden boss in the game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Yep. Well, we'll get an update on that next week for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now for the final piece. What's going on, or what has happened with Barcode and Crit Chick? We've already alluded to you guys being married, and we got the
Crit code.
the rest stop story out of the way. What happened? Tell us what's going on. How was your vacations, Crit and Code?
It was
Well,
fantastic.
also we're gonna have a second um vacation thing going on
Yes.
together again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming down in the end of March.
Yay!
Yeah. It was
And it's funny
fantastic.
because my coworkers are like, "So is he moving here permanently?" I'm like, "No,
We would not do that to Code.
no, silly. You could just meet him for a second.
No, part of the continent. I don't need to be a part of your country. Sorry.
Yeah. No
I will
thanks.
remain on my hat. Sorry.
Yep, you guys will remain my pants. And for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, there's a very old meme, and by very old I mean it's like 5-6 years old. That is a very wonderfully done piece of art that basically has Canada wearing a pair of pants. The pair of pants is the U.S. So it's America is Canada's pants, and there's another one with America that's captioned America or Canada, America's hat, and it's the U.S. wearing a hat. It's fun times, good times.
It is.
But yeah, no, you guys are gonna remain my pants forever. And then there's that whole America's Canada's pants. There's an extra one out there that kind of has something to say about Florida because Florida is the dangly bit.
Yup.
So I'll let you, the listener, put two and two together as to what that means.
He means penis.
Yeah, I was, not going
I have
for
no
that.
filter, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
That's why it's called a peninsula. Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So
But
cool. What?
How was the ceremony? Like, how did that go down? Like how pretty was everything?
She
I mean, it
was
was basic.
beautiful and pretty.
No, I felt like a little
Yeah.
kid though. I had like a short dress on because I didn't want a long dress. Think about it this way. If I wore a long dress in a train, then I'd probably run the risk of having everything drag through like snow with the potential of yellow snow depending on it. And I didn't want to walk around in a soggy dress. So I had that and also cute little snow boots on because I'm not going to kill myself and slip on ice in stilettos. You know what I mean? Then
Absolutely.
in the future, maybe
Yeah.
we'll take more like wedding photos and this and that and the other stuff or whatever when we have a renew our vows. We'll have a
Yes.
different ceremony, but right now we just kind of wanted to just lock it in.
Lock
Yes.
it in, lock it in.
All right. Potential Canadian citizen in the works.
Yeah.
Love it.
My son gained 15 pounds and I'm blaming it on the poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell in love with that, and more than once he ventured a request for poutine. But he's also highly addicted to Tim Hortons hot chocolate, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Ice
approve of
skating
this.
Yeah.
and
Still
ice skating.
still need
Yes.
to make some time to get out there to see you folks. I'm gonna have to do like a Lumi World Tour, stop by Louisiana, see how Cajun's doing, see
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on where Crit is, you go see Crit in Florida, be like, "Hey, what's up?" And she'll be like, "Get off my lawn! I didn't call you here." And then I'll head up to Canada. So, which I
Or
would
you
go get
know, we
off my
can
lawn. I didn't call you here.
well, I would say we can go down to do like Mardi Gras or whatever, but I think right now they're kind of cleaning up.
Oh God, don't get
Uh,
me started.
So
sorry.
what I'd like us to do is actually meet up at like a con somewhere that's in between, like maybe Penny Arcade East. I think that would be fun.
Hey, Harrison has been asking about an anime convention, so that'd be fun.
Well, Penny
There
Arcade
is
is
a
all video
convention
games.
happening right now. There is a convention happening this weekend or whatever in my neck of the woods, and I'm gonna miss it. Thank you, Capital One.
Well, okay. Well,
We
we'll
have our
do.
own Comic-Con in my town, so I'm missing out on
Yeah,
things
Feels
and
bad,
stuff.
man.
yeah. Cajun and I actually met it in person over at Acon in was it
Mm-hmm.
Irving? Here, Cajun, tell him
Mm-hmm.
that real quick while I let my dog in the office.
Oh yeah, Lemmy and I have known each other for centuries. Like we've known each other for such a long time, and we had always flirted with the idea of meeting up and finally shaking hands and all that good stuff, and we never just got around to it. I think it was last year we were finally able to align the planets because we were going to meet up with a couple of friends of mine at one of the conventions there, and we live 30 minutes from that convention. So I'll never forget this to the day because I didn't know. I'm a hugger. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I'm a big teddy bear. If I see you, if it's on site, unless you tell me it beforehand, you're not about that. I assume it's on site. I'm gonna give you a hug because that's how I am. And he he's not. He told me he wasn't. And I just when I laid eyes on him, I just almost tackled him to the
Well, the good news about that though is that I already knew you were a hugger just from talking to you for over the years, so I was already prepared for it. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So it's
Sorry.
not restricted to just you, Cajun, or anyone else. Like I do the same thing to the wife as well. It's like I really don't like being touched. It's just a thing.
If I would have known that
Me
beforehand, I would have been a lot more sympathetic towards it.
Yeah, but I can't
But
stop you from being you. I mean that'd be kind of weird and awkward.
This
It's
is where
like
you get to gaslight Lumi and say, "Well, it's your fault for not telling me in the first place."
It's your fault for being so huggable. I just can't help
sorry,
it.
man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I normally try to ignore those feelings when it comes to the kids and everything else, but I've always been very don't touch me. But that's neither here nor there. So Crit Code had a great time. Poutine was had. Bathrooms were blown up. Cajun is having his shiny hunting dream being done and living it vicariously through Mr. Harrison. As far as I'm concerned, it's been nothing but planning on what the hell it is that we're going to do this year. As far as like where am I streaming outside the podcast? Podcast will always be live here on Twitch. I could go live on the specific YouTube channel, but I don't really want to because I don't have the rights for all the music and everything else that I currently have to be displayed on that channel. So it's always going to be here, and then I will just upload everything for consumption on Monday. I'm going to try to get back into streaming, try to get Ordinary Nights back together. Got to figure out what we're doing for that. And that's probably going to be a couple months down the line before we get together because Cajun also is getting back into the streaming world as well. You've been streaming with Aqueous and a few others, haven't you, Cajun?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry, my headstone. I heard Cajun, but right before that, say it again.
Oh, I said Cajun.
Before that, like, what was the question you asked me? I didn't hear any of it. Hello?
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, you son of!
God damn it!
I was looking at the internet die, man. Come on.
No, you've been streaming as
Oh yeah.
with Aqueous and things like that.
Well, that was just me playing around with some of them. I a lot more collabs with them in the future. I actually have a bunch of them from the Baby You Meet squad that I'm running a D&D campaign for. So I'm doing that in the near future. But as for me, I have been back to 4 to 5 days of streaming since the beginning of the year. I'm really putting my full force into content creation again. I'm still getting back in the swing of video editing to get stuff on for YouTube and all that good stuff. And I posted it on Blue Sky earlier today. I am officially on Casting Call Club to start working on voice acting stuff.
Good stuff. I wish you luck on that.
Every aspect of content creation I can get my beard in. I'm going. So
Yeah, right now I just got to get past stream paralysis. I have so many games and not enough brain power to choose which one to play. So sometimes I'll be like, I'm supposed to go live tonight. Nope, watching anime. Sorry. So, and that's just the way that goes. Like after this, I'm probably going to work on chopping this podcast up and watching On Patrol Live with Amy and Crit for a bit. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. So on that note, I think that we should pretty much call this good. I don't have anything else going on other than to catch us every week on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for more UDP broadcast shenanigans and talking shit on the gaming industry filled with nothing but opinions. And you know what they say about opinions?
I like assholes. Everybody has one.
That's right. And they all smell different. So that's where we're going.
Oh,
So, well, that's right up there with what's the difference between a rectal thermometer and a regular thermometer?
the taste.
That's right, the taste.
oh.
God damn it.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
No.
And with that, thank you, everyone. Remember, stay awesome, keep it classy, and
As always, don't be a dick.
Or a douche.
or douche dick,
Skadoosh.
or a dick douche, or a
A dick
skadoosh,
douche. Skadoosh.
sploosh.
No sploosh.